Well, let me ask this question then, because I think he has a point, the professor has a point, that we could go round and round attacking each other all day and saying, well, you're this and you're that, and not get very far. But I think it's fair now, since we did that to Professor Touretzky, to give Professor Touretzky a chance to say what he thinks. He claims Scientologists and our two guests, he says, are not telling us. He's got a couple of questions for them, so go ahead, Professor.
Thank you. I think your listeners have not yet heard what Scientology is really about, but I appreciate the opportunity to ask Reverend Forney and Mr. Bauman about this, and let's see how honest they're willing to be on the air. Isn't it true that the essence of Scientology is past life recall? You're taught to recall traumas, engrams, L. Ron Hubbard called them, from not only your present life, but from your past lives as well. Is that not true?
Yes, we do believe in past lives.
And you believe that you can recall your past lives?
Correct.
Now, that's one area where Scientology differs from other religions that believe in past lives. Hindus and Buddhists don't believe that they can accurately recall information from their past lives, but Scientologists do. Now, isn't it the case also that Hubbard believes that we've lived these past lives over millions of years, perhaps even billions of years? That's what L. Ron Hubbard has written in his writings. Isn't that true?
That could be the case.
Okay, and now, wouldn't it make sense then that since the human race is only about 400,000 years old, that some of our past lives were lived as other species on other planets? Scientology believes that as well, doesn't it?
It's not a part of the tenets in that form, no.
Well, let me read you a quote from the Technical Dictionary of Dianetics and Scientology. This is L. Ron Hubbard's definition of space opera. He says, space opera is of or relating to time periods on the whole track millions of years ago which concerned activities in this and other galaxies. Space opera has space travel, spaceships, spacemen, intergalactic travel, wars, conflicts, other beings, civilizations and societies, and other planets and galaxies. It is not fiction and concerns actual incidents and things that occurred on the track. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're making some real progress here. Scientologists believe in past lives. They believe some of their past lives were lived as aliens in other civilizations and other galaxies. And so doesn't it make sense then that the Xenu story, which is the story of how this evil galactic overlord Xenu murdered billions of galactic citizens 75 million years ago and dumped their bodies on volcanoes here on Earth, wouldn't that make sense to a Scientologist who's been through all this past life recall training that the church gives them?
Well, first of all, let's get off the word alien. That assumes a lot of other, for lack of a better word, I guess, UFO-type science fiction-y garbage.
Agreement from Mars.
Yeah, as far as the other story that you want to bring in here, Mr. Touretzky, that's lifted from illegally gotten documents that were stolen, that are confidential documents. I'm not going to honor those with any...
What are confidential documents in the church? What is that?
There are some higher levels of auditing, which is our form of counseling that's done, that involves some materials that are confidential until you get to that level.
So when you get to that level, you can read those things or see those documents, but if I go to the church tomorrow because I want to join or learn about it, there are certain things involving I don't want to say doctrine, beliefs, I don't know what the right word is, but there are certain things that I won't be able to read until I get to a certain level? Or?
That only involves your counseling. It does not involve the basic understanding of your relationship as a spiritual being.
If I go to a church and want just the basic information,
yes,
what happens?
Or there's a tremendous amount of information.
Is it given to me at the church? What would I do? How does that work?
And what would be the purpose? There must be a rationale behind why that information is not revealed until you reach a certain level. What is the thinking there?
The main reason is in any counseling process, you're only getting what it is you need at that point, at that stage. And so these materials are just at a higher level, you know.
Can I just break in here? I think Mr. Bauman is confused about what's confidential and what's not. Warren McShane, who is a high-level church official, testified in court that the Xenu story is not itself considered confidential in Scientology. The only thing that's confidential is the exact procedure by which you remedy the spiritual upsets caused by what Xenu did to these poor space aliens. But it's okay to talk about Xenu. Warren McShane talked about it in open court and testified under oath that the Xenu story itself, the Galactic Overlord, who's head of the Galactic Confederation 75 million years ago, that is a well-known piece of Scientology theology and is not confidential.
We have to take a break. There's a legal battle, or has been, then, over the material that Professor Touretzky has accessed and made public, and you guys are alleging that it is illegal. It's information that he wasn't supposed to have access to. He somehow got it and has publicized it, right?
Yes.
Have the courts ruled?
He perverted it first.
Have the courts ruled in this case?
I'm not sure.
They have
ruled. In his case, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
In the case of the stolen materials, it was ruled that the person who stole them was an incredible witness and it was dismissed.
A lot of the callers want to know why so many celebrities are into it. I know both of our guests have views on